Hey everyone, welcome to my gear cave or my adventure cave, man cave, or the place my wife sends me when she's sick of me. Today, I want to share with you a little DIY project that I started about a year ago. Worked on it for a while, put it down, and then this past Christmas, my wife bought me a brand new sewing machine. So for my first project, I figured I should try something that I already knew how to do, and I picked up one that I started last year. And what is that project, you ask? Well, it's a simple pouch, looks like some pouch, that I use to carry my cell phone in. And it straps right to my shoulder pocket of either my day pack or backpack, and it makes it really handy, really easy to access. Got a little drawstring on here as well, so when I'm hiking along, keeps it secure, really quick and easy to pull out. The other little feature I added to this was a front pouch on here as well, which if I'm just gonna pause you momentarily, I can set my cell phone in, or I can put a compass in there, chapsticks, snacks, lighters, whatever fits in there. But this came out of the fact that I was tired of carrying my cell phone around in my pockets. I usually have some sort of cargo pants, and I can keep it in there, but it just wasn't where I wanted. I wanted to be able to grab it really quick, take a picture, take a video, and get going. And when I looked out around, I didn't see anything that I really liked on the market. Since I made my original one, now I've seen some of the small cottage manufacturers come out with some really nice looking ones that have zippers on them and stuff like that. But at the time, I didn't see a whole lot of them. The other problem for me is I'm cheap. Um, I figured, why do I want to spend money when it's something that doesn't look too hard and I can probably do it myself? In reality, all you DIYers out there know, it probably would have been a lot cheaper just to make it myself. Because, you make one prototype, you like it, but you think you can do better, so you make another one, get a little better, and another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. Before you know it, you have 2 dozen of these things that are all functional. You have 2 shoulder straps, maybe 3, 4, or more backpacks. You have more than you know what to do with. But so I probably end up spending a lot more money making this than I did than I would if I would have bought one. But for me, it's the making something and being able to use it. Have something that I made that I'm proud of that meets my need. That's a lot. Kind of like I like to fly fish a lot. And many years ago, I started tying flies. Now I can go down to the local fly shop and pick up a fly for $1.50, $2, and fish it fine. But there's something great about catching a really beautiful trout on something that you tied yourself, that you were able to trick those smart fish. So this project is one of those similar projects as well. So I'm going to take you through roughly how to make this. At the end of the video, I'll put a copy of my pattern for you guys to look at if you like it. It's a really easy, those of you that don't have much sewing experience, I didn't either. I think I learned to sew on a sewing machine in 7th grade, back when I took home ec, when they still actually called it home ec. I remember making a black drawstring bag, and that was the last thing I sewed until about 5 years ago, when I got a hold of a different sewing machine and started doing a little bit of work on that. So this is a pretty easy project. I'll talk you through the design, some of the improvements I made, some of the things I've done. Like I said, I started this about a year ago, made a bunch that I like, and then as I picked it up again this Christmas, after I got the new sewing machine, I kind of thought about it and came up with some new improvements as well. So I'll try to share those both ways, so you have some options. But if you have any questions, please leave me some comments down in the comment place below, and I will try to answer. All right, so my first step is to use my pattern here, and I use foam board to make my pattern. I find they hold up a little bit, and this size I came up with my first time around. I came up with the basic pattern, and I've been kind of tweaking it a little bit each time. So first thing I did was put my pattern down, and I traced around it. I use a black kind of marker. All those black lines that if I don't cut exactly right, are going to be sewed over anyways, and I'll never see them. So for me, it's not a big deal if I'm using black. Today I'm going to be using a ripstop nylon. My original ones I did were kind of a black cloth, and I'll try to give you the name of that later. And I've made some with gray too. Just the other day I decided to try one with the ripstop just to see how it held up.
It's a little bit lighter than the other one. The cloth material I had was almost a little more protective, I think. So both of them are good, just kind of depending on what you want. So first thing I need to do now that I have this drawn out is to go ahead and cut it. Alright, I got my design cut out. I'm pretty sure I missed that day in kindergarten when they taught us how to use scissors, but I'm not too worried about it. One thing that I just added, though, to my pattern was I put a black line right across here. This is a new addition that I just started doing. What I'm going to end up doing is cutting this piece off, and this becomes my pocket. What I was doing in the past is I was just folding it up like that, and sewing it in that way, which is fine if you're a good sewer. My problem is I'm not the best sewer, and so for some reason it would always get put in here at some cockeyed angle. It still worked fine, but it just didn't look straight. So now I'm going to try, my new idea is to put this in sideways like this, and that way it'll give me another little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off and then move up to the sewing machine.
Alright, now that I got both my pieces, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold over the top and just make a nice little hem. I like to fold it over about a ½ inch or so and put a nice little straight stitch hem there. I'll also do the same on the other piece, large piece. What's going to happen is I'm going to fold this in half here, and then this seam I just made becomes my tunnel or my channel for running my cord through. I won't bore you with me sewing because I'm awful at it, but I will show you the final product.
One quick little trick I'll show you that I'm trying right now is I'm really bad about keeping my hem even, and I don't really want to use safety pins. I don't want to put holes in fabric. So what I did is I drew a little line there with just kind of a little fabric marker, and what I'll do is I'll hold it up there. That way I get my nice straight hem. Like I said, I want to keep this kind of clean and nice looking. Alright, I got a small, about ½ inch hem put on there, and then the other one here I have, probably about 3/4. So something I realized as I started sewing this is the top piece here is not a perfect square before you start hemming it. So after you cut it out, before you cut the bottom piece out, I might put a little mark with fabric marker on the top to make it easier. It's going to be longer than it is tall. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting these together. What I'm going to end up doing is laying my front pocket, the nice side of the hem facing me, against the back pocket with the back piece with the nice hem facing me. And then what I'll end up doing is folding this over and sewing the whole thing. But a couple things to think of. What side do you want your string to go out? I prefer to have my camera on my left side, so when which would be this one, that way when I'm wearing it on me, actually, I lied, it's this one, when I wear this on me, the string is going to be going away from my body. If you like it on your right side, you want to do just the opposite there. So you have to do a little thinking here after this next step. But the first thing I'm going to do is I have a piece of about 1.5 inch elastic that I'm going to use to attach it to my shoulder strap. So I'm going to go ahead and sew that on, and then once that's sewed on, I'm going to fold this over and do a sew around there. So let me get this sewed on first. So I got that piece sewed on there. I used a zigzag stitch, just thinking it might be a little stronger. It's going to be getting some abuse on it as it holds it on there. So I just wanted to make sure it's not going to go off. Now what I'll do, if I can zoom out here, I'm going to line my good face here, good face there, and I will fold this over, hopefully not losing that piece, and I'm going to sew here and around, probably using a zigzag stitch once again, and then come back and around there, and that will pretty much finish it off. So there we go. I got my edges sewed up. I actually end up sewing up both sides. I forgot to tell you that. And I use a zigzag stitch and my machine is being a little difficult, so I gotta go talk to the ladies at the local sewing place to find out what's going on, since I really don't know what I'm doing. But I got the sides all sewed up. Like I said, I sewed all three sides, and I sewed up right to where the hem was. I don't want to go up too high because I need to leave that channel open. We'll do it. Now comes the part, or the truth, to see if this turned out right. All right, here's the moment of truth. Let's go ahead and open this up. Now, one thing you want to do is when you open this up, I put one thumb on the elastic back and the other in the pocket and do it that way. Otherwise, if you don't do it that way, it comes out kind of looking wrong and you think you screwed it up, but you really didn't. The other thing I'll do right now while I have my hand in here is poke the corners out on both sides. It makes it easier to do it now than later. Looking good. Now this design here, I've given it a fairly high collar above my phone. That was something I just extended recently, but not too bad. If I want, show you where the other pocket is right here. Okay, you put right there, and all we have left to do now is to put the cord in. And I'm not, to tell you the truth, I wasn't really paying attention when I sewed this up, so I think the cord is going to come out on the opposite side of what I like it to do. So this is going to come out this side, which would be great if you like to have it on your right side. Left side, the cord's just going to hang into the body. Alright, so I got my accessory cord here. What I found that the best way to do it for me is I take a little paper clip, tie it on the end, then close it. And then I can feed it through this way. I was using zip ties and pushing it through, but I had problems with it. So I'll just show you how I started, and then I'll shut the video off because it's kind of a bit a pain in the butt to get this started. So I just kind of feed it right through there, and once I can get it in the hole, everything goes pretty easy. It's just a matter of scrunch and pull, scrunch and pull. So I'll go ahead and do that and come back when it's finished. And there it is once we get it through. One thing I just had happen to me that I've never had happen before, as I was pulling the back side out, the front side slipped in. So maybe a good little thing to do would put your loose end through your little clasp there first. That way it can't pull through. Now we're almost done. The one thing that we need to do is add a little piece of material up top here to keep it from sliding down. What I found happened with my original models that looked something like this, kind of like this one here, is whenever I'd stop to take my pack off, it would slide down and I'd have to slide it back up. So the way I've kind of gotten around that is the newer models, I put a little piece of webbing up here that I can then connect with a little bungee cord or accessory cord in my pack to keep it from sliding down. That was the one thing that drove me nuts about, one of the things drove me nuts about my original one. So let me go ahead and sew that on and show you the last final product. Alright guys, there is the final product. Like I said, I just ran a little accessory string on here that from the loop I put in to keep it from falling down. It's really nice and easy now. I have that and put it back there, or I can run in the front. It works much easier when you have two hands to do this. I got lucky. No, I didn't get lucky. My string is, like I said, it's on the inside. I personally prefer it on the outside. I have another one here. One of my early ones, hard to see black, but it's big enough. You could easily put a spot in it. I also hid my GPS down there. So, real quick, easy project once you get done. Probably no more than 10 or 15 minutes to make those. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments for me, let me know. Otherwise, guys, get out there and enjoy hiking. I'll put the picture of the plan, so to speak, right at the end of this. Until then, guys, hike on. Not sure how well the picture came out. So the long side is 26 centimeters by 24 and a half, and then going down the longest side, it's total 38 centimeters. The bottom here is 12 and a half, and then 18 and a half. And mine is made for an iPhone 7, so it works really good with a fairly about an inch or so above the camera. If you wanted a little tighter, you could shorten this area down from 38 centimeters to 36 or whatever. That's where you adjust the height of it.